Generation presets. One of these defined options. New world. Look for the new continent. Regions to explore. Scattered. Everyone starts on their own limited lands looking for new ways to explore, and symmetrical. So I don't think I want scattered because I do want to run into each of, or at least one other faction right off the bat. New world sounds interesting. We could definitely give New World a try. Fetchaz. Why don't we see if anyone else in chat has any suggestions about that, and we could get that going. And maybe I'll go and post a link over to the Endless Legends subreddit and advertise my stream there as well. So streaming Endless Legend Guardians, Broken Lords on Impossible. I'll be streaming today for 3 to 4 hours, and then tomorrow for another couple hours. And I'm also going to be doing a giveaway for this expansion tomorrow at noon Eastern Daylight Time. So Amplitude Studios was nice enough to give me a copy, an extra code for the Guardians expansion, and I'll be giving that away Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time. So let's go and post that over to the Endless Legends subreddit and see if we can get some more people in here. It looks like I've already used my Twitch URL as that. Alright, we won't worry about advertising there then. Maybe I can post something over later. Alright, so we've got our factions assigned. I'm considering doing the New World option here, but if there are any alternate suggestions or in chat, we can definitely switch that over. Attacks. Theta Chez is definitely liking New World as an option, so we could definitely go for that. And we'll just quickly look over the game settings again. Playing on Impossible, with the only change here, we've got the encounter sequence as normal. The scale factor for the battle animations is on very fast. With all the victories enabled, I am going to be going for the quest victory, just because I really like the flavor from the story, and I want to see how that story ends. It's not something I've done before. Impossible, but as for the world settings, I think I want to leave the world difficulty on normal, but if anyone has alternate suggestions, Lemur Lord is also liking using New World. We could play with the world difficulty here too, maybe bump that up to hard, or do something custom here. I do like having at least a decent number of anomalies, since they are the juicy tiles, but we could push that over to hard. It does make the minor factions more difficult to fight, which could slow the AI down, but would also slow us down, so I don't know how I feel about that. I'm liking how normal looks, but again, I'd be happy to take suggestions here. Reaver325 wants us to go with the Ardent Mages. I want to do the Broken Lords, since I did play a whole bunch of Endless Legend about half a year ago, and I have multiplayer games and some single-player games as most of the factions, but I haven't played the Broken Lords or the Cultists for my YouTube channel, and since I did start a Broken Lords playthrough yesterday, I'm curious to try them again and maybe get a better start going with them. Hey Starfolk, welcome to the stream. Alright, so I think we'll go with these settings. So 8 factions, one of each of them, on Impossible difficulty, normal game speed, using the generation preset of New World, and the default settings for New World, which is 2 continents, where they assign all of the factions to 1 continent, and then with the world difficulty to normal. So that's how we'll run it, and let's go. Have I tried the new faction yet? feta cheese. I don't think any new factions were introduced in the Guardians expansion. And it's all the same. There is the Mazzari, which is the reskin of the Vaulters. I didn't have that initially because I only bought the normal version of Endless Legend, but I did get the whatever Founders Pack for Dungeon of the Endless, which did give me the Mazzari reskin. But otherwise, it's the same factions that were in there from the official release of Endless Legend. I guess while it was in beta, they were slowly introducing new factions, but these are all 8 of the actual factions in the game, and we'll run with that. So let's get started. I will be quiet for the nice little... I'm not going to skip the video intro because I do like it. I do like the nice little painted 2D fantasy art style stuff, and the voice acting is pretty nice too. So even though if some of you are hardcore Endless Legend fans and you've seen this intro 1,000 times, I'm going to run it anyways, just for posterity, because I am going to go and post this over to YouTube as well. And if anyone does have extra time, if you want to do a post for me over at Reddit advertising my stream, I'm going to be streaming this series for 3 to 4 hours tonight.
Once we fought, drank, and loved as mortal beings. But our world changed and we faced a stark choice: alter our bodies or perish. Yet survival is not the same as life. Now we are prisoners of the armor that binds us and the dust that sustains us. We must drain dust, drain energy, or die. Where is our honor now, Lords of the Amber Plains? And what matters more, to reclaim our honor or sustain our bodies?
Okay, what kind of a start do we have? Let's turn the yields on quickly. A lot of good science. I guess reasonable dust. Not really great on production. That could be painful. Let's do a little exploring here. Don't think we're revealing anything better. We could just settle where we are. This anomaly here is generally one that grants a lot of food, so a big waste if we moved waste for us as the Broken Lords. At least the dirt fields, though, have reasonable yields for us. 3 dust is definitely nice to see. The stalwarts, we wouldn't get much more info scouting into the forest. I guess we could just set up right here. Let's see what that looks like. So, 2 industry, 13 science, 15 dust, 2, 13, 15, 4, 13, 13, 8, 10, 8. I guess, so here we're trading 2 dust for 2 production. The production would be better. We can settle right in place. I don't think I'm going to get anything better. We're right beside the Ardent Mages. Let's, before we actually do this, let's scout out with the stalwarts into the forest, even though we're not likely to actually see very much. Alright, I don't see anything better. Let's plop down right here then. Get that going. We've met the Kazajani minor faction. This gets us a bonus to our influence. And these demons who deal their chain lightning damage, they're flying, they're decent, if I recall correctly, so that'll be fine. Do I want to... well, let's see. We only have the 1 village there. Probably not researching Parley then. Actually, we are going to research Parley because our main faction quest wants us to research 12 level 1 technologies, which means even though I might normally ignore Parley, or language square rather, for parley. In this case, since I have to research it, I may as well research it early and try to get an easy pacification off. And do I want to keep my hero? Let's just join him up over here, and then he can go and explore these ruins. Let's assign the hero. There we go. And our initial construction, we don't have the dust to buy out a new citizen. Let's get started on the Founders Memorial. Seems like a good start. And yes, Lemur Lord, right beside us here, who did I assign the blue? Was that the cultists? Oh, that's the Vaulters, I think, is what I assigned the blue as. So, New World makes things really crowded. We might actually have a lot of trouble with our main faction quest then, because one of them does require us settling another city. So we'll try to get that done as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we might be out of luck. Ooh, there's a wizard stone down to the south. Would we have preferred settling there? It's pretty poor on the dust, so probably not. And we need to select our research. The first thing that I want to research, let's go language square into topography, and we can build out geomic labs. So long as I have something else I want to build out. Yeah, while I'm waiting for geomic labs, we can fit in an Empire Mint or a Stalwart. The first step in our main faction quest requires a third Stalwart, so I think I will go for that. Hey Max Power 50, welcome to the stream, and here we've got the first quest. It's for that 3 infantry to check out a certain temple ruin way to the north. We'll start exploring in that direction. Let's scout these, search the ruins. Some dust will be enough to purchase our next citizen, which I think I do want to do right away here. So that seems good, and then this guy here, may as well check out these ruins as well. So far we've got 2 unoccupied regions. Here we've got intellectual jealousy, produce 40 science in one of your cities for 10 turns. Now, what are our current yields? Right now we're making what? Click on the city, 16 science. We're going to add another 7 with the geomic labs, and then the library. We're probably not going to get that done anytime soon. Alright, there's language square done. Let's go and meet the Ken's Johnny, and then by that time, I want to get this quest started as soon as possible. So let's queue up that Stalwart. I don't actually know if this is a good plan. Do I want to rush the Founders Memorial? No, I'd rather use that on citizens. So we'll save the dust there. And we'll swing over towards this camp slash minor faction thingamabob. Minor faction village. That's the correct terminology. We've met the Garon minor faction, plus 5% life. Not a bad bonus, rather the attack damage or initiative. But failing to get high initiative, having your troops survive that first volley, is also just as good. Well, not just as good, but still good. And Max Power 50, I'm glad you're enjoying my backlog of YouTube videos. Since I've adopted the 1-hour morning stream schedule, I have been pretty consistent with putting out a lot of content. Alright, so we do have language square. We can go and parlay with these guys. Free our people. Destroy the village located in a nearby region. And we'll get wine. Let's have a look at how many steps there are to that quest. So over here, free our people. It's a multi-step deal, and this is in Amund. Where is Amund? I guess it would probably be this region right here, but we can scout out the other region. I don't know if I want to wander into... So this is Hadwa, or Hadao. We need to find that region, or we could just fight them. That's also a reasonable option. Let's see, what's the region name here? Daj Hat. A little titanium. We've met the Sisters of Mercy. Is this... Is there something being covered here? Is it Randar, or is there some more text here that's being covered by that mountain? Let's bring up the alternate quest then, since if I can get that for free, it would be nice. Amond, that's what we want. Let's go and pin that for now. We might just have to go and beat them up instead. And I want to run away out of this territory in case these guys attack me. Let's quickly poke our head into this blue territory. This territory ends with a D. This might be where we want to be, which means we want to group up our army and actually see if we can complete that quest. Do I want to parley with these guys? Not really. Let's see. It'd be safer if I went through my own territory to group up again. Although this does look like a bit of risky pathing. Alright, I do want to visit some of those ruins. We have enough money now to buy another citizen, which I will do. And max power 50, Endless Legend was officially released about half a year ago. It had been in beta/early access for a while prior to that. And there's a new expansion that was released for this game just a couple days ago. And I'm actually doing a giveaway for that expansion. I have one extra code that Amplitude Studios was nice enough to give me. And so I'm giving that away tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. So there's topography done. What do I want to research next? Extra production would be nice. That would definitely pay for itself. And then what sort of resources do I have in the capital city? Let's see. Looks like only dye and no strategic resources, which is a real bummer. So I'm not going to rush to research the alchemist furnace, which I need to build the extractors for titanium and glass steel, which we need for some of the good armor and weapons. Alright, so let's just leave that. We won't queue up too many techs. Head over this way. And we've met another manufacturer, the boss. 30 dust there. I really don't want to get too close to the Ardent Mages, because if they see a weak force from us wandering around, they won't hesitate to attack us. You're safe within your own territory because it costs a large amount of influence to declare war, and you need to declare war to fight someone when they're within their own borders, but you're free to attack them when they're within your borders or when they're in neutral territory. So the game is semi-real-time. It does pass in turns, but the AI does move on the map. Run away, run away! Oh man! And that does work out kind of nicely in multiplayer, that there's this simultaneous turn aspect. And you can also try to run away from the AI because they do actually show the animation of them moving. And if you're paying attention, you can get back into your own borders before anything untoward happens to your units. So we're going to run those stalwarts around. And we're getting our third stalwart, which will be really important for completing this quest so that we can pacify this village, and then doing the first step of our main faction quest, which is the whole story of how the Broken Lords, which are a chivalrous race of formerly mortal knights, which are now this sort of vampire type spirit that requires draining the life force from other beings, and so they're kind of conflicted about that. It jives against their morality, so I want to see where that story goes. How are they going to deal with the failing planet that we're currently on, Auriga? One of the sub-expansions that I haven't that that was released in between when I last played this game and now adds something, I think, to the main faction quest, or maybe it's an alternate win condition that involves building some sort of a ship to escape this dying planet. Okay, so our hero just leveled up. I think I am going to use him to lead the army, so we're going to go down this path here, which does let us buff our hero and buff the units in the army that he leads eventually. So we'll go down the class path, apply that, and close this off. Okay, a new research item. What can I put to use right away? So normally I wouldn't research search party, but since I know I need to research 12 Era 1 techs for my main faction quest, let's pick that up now since everything else requires, it just unlocks new buildings and we're not going to be spending construction on those new buildings right away, so we may as well unlock something that gives us the bonus right away, such as a search party. And let's see, I hope no one finds us and hunts us down here. It'd be nice if we could pick up some of these, or search some of these ruins. We'll head over this way, have everyone group up, and if someone attacks us, we'll be able to get reinforcements in, since our armies are close enough now. So that's good. This guy will go and visit these ruins, and then our hero, well, our hero does get experience for visiting ruins, so maybe I'll have him do that. Let's start researching or building out the geomic labs. I do want to speed through tech, and then we'll go Mill Foundry, Empire Mint, and then maybe some Burrow Streets. We need to get up to level 2 for one of our main faction quests there as well. Let's go and search these ruins. 40 dust. I think that'll be enough to buy out another citizen, which I definitely will do. And then let's go and add the stalwart to our army here. There's a cliff here that forces our armies to go around the long way. Alright, that's fine. And as for this guy, can he meet up with our army here? That'll save us some dust on the upkeep. Let's see, we still have some movement left. Close that. Get over to here. Join that up, so now we're at plus 18 dust per turn. Dust is especially important since, unlike every other faction, we have to buy every new citizen, and we don't get anything from food. Right, so we already have a lot of our enemy armies running around. I would be happy to fight them. Do I want to waste time exploring these unspoiled ruins, or do we want to try to complete our quest right away? Let's get our quest going, because the reward for completing the first step in our quest is a tech archaeology, which gives us a 10% discount to all of the level 1 technologies. And so the sooner I get that, the more science points I'll save. Now, if I can round up some more gold, I'd like to upgrade all of my stalwarts and my hero with some items that'll get me another movement point. That'll definitely speed things along too. But I definitely don't have the gold for that at the moment. Head over down this way. Now, 22 gold per turn. Will I have enough to pay for the upgrades if I upgrade them right now? Let's have a look. The stalwart profile, if I go, we won't worry. I mean, I would prefer to upgrade their armor as well. But if I want to complete this before, say, basically, one of my main faction quests requires settling in a new region. And since we chose the 2-continent model where everyone settles on one continent, I'm worried that the regions are all going to be taken before we get a chance to do that, and which means I'd have to embark to the other continent to settle that second city, which is really going to slow down my main faction quest. So let's grab the improved movement trinket there and see how much it'll cost to upgrade all 3 of these stalwarts. 27. To retrofit all of them would cost us 81, so we're not going to be able to do that, at least right now. Getting that improved movement is going to be really important, not just for exploring the map, but also in combat. Since these are melee units, they want to be able to run right up to their our enemies and deal their damage in the first turn, which means that extra movement is pretty important. But I should have thought of that before I purchased the 4th citizen. We could have used the dust there on our upgrades instead. Okay, the Free Our People quest failed. The village in our adjacent region had already been pacified, so we're not able to complete that quest, which is really too bad. I mean, it's not the biggest deal. Did I settle by a river? I did not, so aquaplavistics isn't going to help us. No rush to grab that. Let's grab the resource extractor. We may as well get some of our dyes coming in. And we'll head over towards these ruins and complete the first step of our main faction quest. I think we also need to spend dust for the next step of the main faction quest as well. And I think it's 100 dust, at least that's what it was last time around. So we just got enough, although that's going to delay all of our upgrades, our retrofits, by another bunch of turns. So here, step 1 complete, we were rewarded with 15 wine. And now we need to come back when we have 100 dust, which we do have. Search those ruins. We need to defeat this army. It's a Drider. We'll just manual that fight. Okay, so that's actually not really the best setup because we're only going to be fighting him one at a time. Let's see if we can. These guys are ranged. Is that's right, isn't it? So let's have our guys stand back and ready up. These guys will cancel their movements. We'll let them come to us. This guy has, well, he can get a free shot on us. What do I want? Hold position and only attack enemies within range. In fact, why don't you all take a step backwards? I should have just autoed this. But now we'll all run forward and attack. May as well switch them over to full aggro. And our hero here could only move 2 because he's got a negative debuff on him. It seems like, what was that? The cocoon effect? A stun reduces something. Didn't read that fast enough, but we took care of that guy without too much trouble. So there's the first step in our main faction quest complete. We've unlocked Archaeologist, which gives us the 10% cost reduction for all Era 1 technologies, which is nice since we still have a lot of Era 1 technologies to research. Our next objective will reward us with 15 glass steel, and we just need to research 8 technologies from Era 1. So here is a bunch of text. I am going to be reading the text later on because I want you to get into the story, but I read all of this last night, so maybe I won't read it here. I guess the gist of it is that, you know, we are conflicted over the fact that we have to devour life from our followers in order to survive, because we're these empty suits of armor, semi-corporeal or incorporeal, and we need that to survive. But it conflicts with our chivalrous nature, and there seem to be 2 factions, some which are embracing our vampiric side, while others who are a little more conflicted about that. So we'll see how that goes, how that story works out. I'll start reading some more of the story later on, and those of you on YouTube can always pause the video if you want to read the text yourselves. Okay, so let's flip that over. And we could fight these cultist friends. Maybe we should. That would be good experience. We don't have any upgrades. Those guys are level 1. We should be able to take these guys. Let's do it. It's 4 versus 2. Yeah, this should be an easy fight. It'll be free experience for us. Ready and attack. Little damage on our hero, and our heroes and units don't auto-heal. We have to pay dust to heal them. That's another bonus/detriment to the Broken Lords. And a recent change, at least for me, a change that's happened in some time in the past 6 months, is that when you there are these action points, and so you can't attack the same turn as you heal, and you can't heal the same turn that you've been in a conflict, which does make the Broken Lords a little weaker with respect to that ability. Oh, and we should have checked out those ruins. That's one thing that I forgot to do before we left. We completed all of the quest-related exploration, but we didn't explore the naked ruin there. So let's queue up the rest of the techs we need. We may as well... Well, let's grab the mercenary market. Maybe the new unit, public library. We need to research all 12 of these, so I'm not really too picky about what I need to pick up here. Let's just queue those up. I'm not in a rush to pick up aquapavistics, even though we do need the dust, but we don't have any water that would make that relevant. And let's cancel that quest out, because I'm not going to be racing towards that science. Alright, if we do want more experience, we can go and fight these guys. Pacify this camp. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try to level our army up. Well, we can see what the quest is from the parlay. Make sure there are no enemies here. We would get emeralds out of the deal. Alright, fine. Well, we'll do that for now. And maybe we will see if we can settle this region for the next step of the quest. It'll depend on how quickly we can get the text research for the next 2 steps of our faction quest. And if we are going to be rushing for tech, then maybe I'll cancel out these research items and then prioritize the public library. So that'll finish in 4 turns. Do I want to work on the settler? Let's work on this dye extractor next, and then maybe into a burrow street. Well, 4 turns, we'll do the library after the dye extractor. Ooh, that's not good. That's a massive Vaulter army. We're just gonna have to run back to our territory. This is gonna hurt. When you run away, it takes off half of your life, which is fine if your hit points regenerate for free over time. But since we have to pay to regenerate those hit points, retreating really hurts. Retreat here. And then we really need to run away. Can I... if we move over to here, hopefully they're not going to chase us. We'll have to run into our territory as soon as the turn. We'll just spam click. Okay, good. Back into our territory so we're not killed. And I guess maybe we can explore these ruins over here. Alright, other players gone and entered the next tech era, which unlocks these new legendary deeds, challenges, and legendary buildings, each of which can only be unlocked or achieved by one faction in the game. So this is something that's new in the Guardians expansion. We were playing on Impossible, so I think it's going to be pretty difficult to race for most of these. But if one comes up that I want to race for, we're not going to get 2,000 influence before one of the other factions. For this, we need to defeat 10 armies. So far we've defeated 1 army, that cultist army. So this might be possible if we get lucky and face down really small armies. It's possible that we could go for that. We'll keep that in mind, but we're not going to be able to build up the baronet industry. For one, we don't have the required strategic resources, 15 titanium and glass steel, plus 1,000 production. We'll be hard-pressed to beat the impossible AI on that. Okay, and we do need to assign, let's see, public library in 1. Let's go and put some turns into a borough street. Let's see. We failed the rough man quest, which is fine. We were chased out of there by the vaulters. Okay, so let's see which district positioning gets us the best yields. 5, 4, 3, 1, 16, 10, and 10. And the reason that this is so high, I don't, why would that get us such good yields? I mean, there are no anomalies here. That's kind of confusing. Am I misreading something? Total output. Okay, wait. It counts, is it not counting just the new tiles, but all 7 of the tiles that are in the radius? That must be what it's doing. No, that's not what it's doing. Because when I mouse over here, it doesn't give me those fantastic yields. Alright, well, we'll just go with what we can actually see, which is here we're adding 9 science and 8 dust, whereas here it's only 6 science and 7 dust. So expanding over in this direction, I guess what it's counting is the tile itself, and so we already have yields from this anomaly. That's kind of weird that it would count the yields that way. A little misleading. Alright, so we've got an empire plan to set up. I could save my influence. Especially if I'm going to be leaving my citizens on production instead of dust. Let's do the science boost, since our faction quest right now really wants the science. And public libraries next turn. These guys, let's see. We'll wander over here, see if there are Vaulter armies trying to make trouble for us. If not, maybe we'll go up over this way within our territory and then try to pop over to these ruins. This cliff face means going around the bottom side is going to have us in neutral territory for longer, which is kind of risky since we're at half strength. And I really don't want to be out there at half strength, and I don't really want to spend my dust on healing my guys either. One of our later faction unlocks does get us really slow healing, which we might be able to get away with. Alright, so we've completed that quest. We need 4 more to unlock the next objective. We got 15 glass steel, which is pretty useful for us. And let's see, let's queue up that library right now. Borough streets versus the library. The library gets us plus 10 base, plus 10%, which is going to be plus 14 or plus 15, versus finishing the borough street gets us plus 9. Well, they both take the same number of turns. Let's finish the public library first, although the borough street would also get us the 7 dust. Let's finish the public library. I want to complete these texts as quickly as possible. We do have 4 more queued up, which is exactly what we need for our quest. The only tech we're ignoring is Occlupivistics, which could be a mistake as the Broken Lords, although we're not going to be taking advantage of Occlupivistics in our home province. If we expand to here, there's no lakes or rivers, and over here there is the 1 river, or the 2 rivers, so that could potentially be useful. We could just go and pick that up later though. I think I would rather have all of these instead. So this is an approval boost, a new unit, the ability to purchase heroes, and the strategic resource extractor.